Welcome to this connect today, guys. This is something very important topic we're going to discuss today. And today with us we have Saurabh Hardikar, who is a mind coach, trainer. Very important for us to understand how the neuro part of our brain works while we think about how we set our goals. So let me welcome Saurabh. Saurabh, why don't you introduce yourself and tell us about your journey of
Sure,
mind and training stuff.
definitely. Thanks, Ajinkya, for this. And first, I would like to congratulate you on this great initiative. It's really appreciable. Now, I would like to introduce myself as someone who is passionate about how our mind works. I got fascinated by this maybe 10, 12 years back, where I was struggling in my career, and then I got introduced to neuro-linguistic programming, and then there were a lot of revelations for me. And then from that point, I started learning more, exploring more how our mind works, and I've been applying the knowledge that I gained and the techniques that I learned in that to help myself and, of course, people, friends, families, and professionals to align their thinking or behavior with the goals, and which help which would help them in achieving goals effectively. Goals is the primary focus area which I've been working on, but it is directly related to the way you think, consciously or subconsciously. I've overall 30 plus years of experience in started with manufacturing projects and moved into IT, and I've been in leadership positions for last lot of years, and been training and coaching hundreds of professionals, creating high performance leaders, coaching them, and building successful teams. I'm basically a B mechanical with an MBA in systems, and I've done NLP, neuro linguistic programming practitioner and master practitioner, and I've been sort of in this now full time now. So that's my introduction.
That's great. Good to have you here today. So I think today what we're going to talk about, Saurabh, is one of your expertise, which is goals setting at workplace. Can we talk about something like why goal settings are important at workplace? Like why it is important?
Sure. So basically, everyone, whether it's individuals or organizations, right, we strive for what progress, right? We want to have progress in life, right? Even if it is individuals, we want to progress. Organizations want to go from one level to other level. And again, I'm assuming this progress is for a better version. Um, so which means there's a you are in a current state, and then there is a desired state where you want to be in, which is better than the current state. And then so it's about your journey from your current state to the desired state. And of course, this desired state probably is time bound. So from time to time, it will keep changing, right? But what does this desired state determine? It's the direction in which you go, or in which you would want to go, and the speed at which you want to go there. Both are actually determined by this desired state. What is goal? So goal is a definition of this desired state, right? Um, and unless you have that defined clearly, unless you're very clear of where you wish to be, it remains ambiguous. You're not clear, and especially when it comes to your mind, it does not understand where you want to be. So that's why goals are important, because they clearly define your desired state where you want to be in that period of time, right? And that's how you can then progress, because when then you start your journey from your current state to the desired state, and then you are able to see, are you headed in the right direction? Because speed in the wrong direction is of no use, right? So you have to be in the right direction, and then of course there is a speed at which you want to be in that direction so that you achieve that desired state in that amount of time. So essentially this goal determines that, and it helps you sort of get clarity about that in your mind. That's why goals are important, whether for personal, like individuals, or organizations. Organizations also strive for progressing, right? I mean, they may have different objectives. Maybe they may want to serve the society, could be an objective. Profits could be an objective, because they want to probably take care of all their employees and their families, right? So there is an objective, and then they need to keep progressing, because if you are not progressing, probably you may start deteriorating, which is you may start going in a reverse order, which you don't want, right? So that's why there has to be some desired state which you have, and that's a goal. So whether it's organizations or people, whether it's professional or personal, I think goals are very important because that determine the desired state for us. And I'll keep saying the desired state a lot of times, and probably it will reveal in, as we discussed, why that desired state is very important.
Right. I mean, I think you stated it right. Desired state. Everyone has a desire to grow, to be to the next level. Like for example, if I am
Right.
starting my career as a fresher, I want to be a leader. A team lead thinks about when will I become a manager. A manager will think like when will I become a senior person in the organization. That's I think one of the desired state everyone is looking out for. And I think for that you said goals are important to set that I want to be someone, and then how do I achieve to that particular level and what are my steps to achieve them, right? I think this is one thing which you want to conclude,
Yeah,
and why importance of goals are considered like a base for your career growth, right?
absolutely.
Good. So
Absolutely.
yeah, so I know that everybody has this uh, I'll talk about mostly the organizational goals, or maybe a level where person is defining their goals when they are working in an organization. Every year there is a process of setting goals, but a lot of people
Yeah.
struggle to identify what should I write as my goal. Like, because see, I want to grow in a specific level, but what are the common struggles people go through while setting goals?
Okay, sure. So typically when we talk about goals, the first thing that comes to our mind is smart, right? Goals have to be smart, and probably we have been trained to think of goals in that way. They have to be specific, measurable, they have to be achievable, relevant, and time bound,
Right.
right? And which is perfectly fine. I mean, it is very important to have those goals in a smart way, but there are a few other attributes I would like to add, and these are specifically when our mind comes in play. And see, a lot of times what happens is your mind is not aligned with your goals, right? And or maybe it is rather not aligned is one part, but sometimes it could be misaligned or aligned in a wrong way, and then you don't really get the results which you expect. So there are a few other attributes for the goals which are very important. One is clear. I would call it CAP as an acronym. Clear. We have said achievable, but at the same time they have to be ambitious, because who will decide what is achievable? If I think something, I can achieve something, it is achievable for me. If I think it is not achievable for me, it is not, right? So it becomes vague. So they have to be ambitious, which means, okay, you probably think that, okay, it is a little difficult, but then this is what I desire, and again the desired state. So desired state does not really bring whether like whether it is achievable or not is in my mind, right? What you desire is that filter of your mind, whether it is achievable or not, it takes that away. So you have to be ambitious, and P is positive. I think it's very, very important to state the goals, or to actually uh, what you can assimilate the goals in a positive way. A very simple example of this is, if you are setting a goal, what you don't want. Let's say, I'll take simple examples. Let's say health is a goal, in case, okay, you don't want to have diabetes, you don't want to have blood pressure, or maybe some people are obese, they don't want obesity, right? So you have a goal, I don't want diabetes, I don't want blood pressure, I don't want obesity. This is not a positive goal. This is something which I'm telling as I don't, what I don't want. Let's say that there are challenges and problems in your workplace, right? Of course the challenges are there, that's why we are there, right? That's why people are hired to solve them. But if you keep your focus on the challenges or on the problems, then you're actually focusing on the wrong things, right? So if I took the example of health again, instead of saying I don't want diabetes, or I don't want to be obese, right, or I don't want blood pressure, I could rather say I want to be fit and healthy. That's a positive way to say state a goal. Similarly, in work environment, let's say I don't want critical customer complaints in my product. So you're focusing on the what you don't want, right? So you could rather say I want happy customers, right? Or you want the customers to be delighted, maybe even more superlative form of that, right? Or if you want to say, I don't want problems, right? And of course, the intention is good that you don't want the problems, but the focus is wrong, because what you start doing inadvertently is you start thinking about what you don't want. And one big revelation which I had in my life is, whatever you focus on, that increases for you. Okay. So here, what I'm doing when I'm saying what I don't want, you cannot not think about something without thinking about it, right? The moment you are thinking about what you don't want, your focus has shifted to that, and your mind does not understand the negations. Mind does not understand the not part of it. It understands what is the subject of my thoughts, right? And if the subject, whatever is the subject of my thought, the mind gets aligned to it, and it starts striving to achieve that. And a lot of times we actually experience that we keep we remain in the same situation doesn't change because we keep thinking of the same things which we don't want. Rather, if that is the change of or the shift of thinking that should happen, and that again I'll call the desired state. Think of the desired state, which is a positive state where you want to be in. So let's say you're saying I want happiness, right? Or let's say you're saying I don't want bugs in the software, right? So again, you're focusing on bugs. So we would rather say I want a great software, right? So basically shift the focus from this. So that's why this CAP acronym is also very important. They have to be clear, ambitious, and positive. Now about clarity, our mind does not understand ambiguity. Okay? Let's say I want good performance. Means what? Your mind will not understand what is good performance, right? Or maybe I'll take a very simple example so that it is easy to explain the point. There's a student, and the student says, I want good marks, right? What means what? Like maybe 60% could be good for someone, 90% could not be good for someone. So there's ambiguity, right? Similarly, maybe organizations, right? If organizations want to set a goal, okay, we want more profits. That's ambiguous, right? So the clarity has to be there because our mind then will align with that properly. Right. So we have to define that as clear as, maybe I want like 100 millions in profits by 31st December 2022. So what you're actually doing is you are giving clarity to your mind so that your mind is aligned, and then the energy works in that direction. So that's basically about goal setting. I would say, along with SMART, have this CAP as well, and not to really think about what you don't want, but think of the desired state in whatever you are trying to achieve.
Cool. Let me just conclude that. So when we think about setting goals along with the smart goals, we should also think about how clear your goal is, how ambitious you are about that specific goals, and always frame your thought process positively around your goals. Right? I think we should not think about I should not achieve this, but you should think about I will achieve this. Right? So that's how we
Yeah,
should think about whenever we are documenting or articulating our thoughts around goal settings, right?
yeah. For the ambitious part, I would tweak it a little. Instead of saying how ambitious we are, the goals have to be ambitious.
All right.
That's how I would say it. So if you're thinking, see, what is impossible? Impossible is something which was not done before most of the
Mhm.
time, right? Um, so some something was not done before, we would say, oh, it is not possible. Why not possible? Because it was not done before. And why it was not done before that? Because it was not done even before that, right?
True.
So a lot
Right.
of times something which was not done before becomes impossible. So that's exactly where we want to break that, and they have to be ambitious. It doesn't really matter whether it was done before or not. What is my desired state is what it matters, and that's why being ambitious there is important. So along with I mean, we have to have a balance between achievable and ambitious, because otherwise it could probably be a very low goal, because you may probably just discard everything which you may think or anyone may think is not achievable because it was not done before, and it may become unachievable and you may not set that goal. So just wanted to elaborate that a little.
Sure. I think that helps. So, do you think that mission and vision is also important along with your goals? Like, for example, If you're setting goals, those should be aligned to your mission, or those should be aligned to your vision, what you want to be as a desired state.
Sure. So organizations have vision. I mean, again, if you talk in terms of the organizational
Yeah,
context, there's a vision, there's a mission which they want to accomplish,
yeah,
right? How can organization accomplish that? They can accomplish only if maybe there are multiple divisions in an organization. If each division accomplish its own vision or mission, right?
right,
Or whatever they want to achieve. How can these divisions do that? If the teams which are comprising in that division, they are able to achieve that, right? Their respective desired states. And how can the teams do it if an individual can do it? So ultimately, that's how the individual goals roll up to the organizational goals, which in turn help organization achieve its mission and ultimately the vision, right? So that's why it's actually starts from the vision and mission and culminates into goals for the organization, for the divisions, for the teams, and for individuals, right? So that's how the goals are, and these goals are like the desired state for each and every uh, at each every level.
right. Well, I think yeah, that's relative, because mostly when I was thinking about every year when we think about adding goals, there is a disclaimer that your goals should be aligned to your organizational goals, right? So that's where I think people struggle. That
Right.
what is, sometimes people think, what is my organizational goal and how should I contribute that? Is it okay that my definition of goal will help it? I think that's the ambiguity people are in today, where they think a very short term goal that I want to achieve. I want to achieve a certification in AWS. That is something they add as a goal. But a development or a self development goals are more important than just a certification, because that maybe the certification could be a part of your self development, but I think goals should be considered as how you grow or how your trajectory is towards your career and how you are adding value to your organizational goals, right? So yeah, I think this is
True.
very well explained. Do you have
And
any? Sorry, go ahead.
just to add,
Yeah,
so there have to be two considerations. One is top down, whereas there is like organization vision, mission, organization goals, division goals, department, team, and individual goals.
right,
Because now there's a clear alignment. At
right,
the same time, there could be bottom up where individuals have something, and probably they will actually add up to, or maybe they will complement organizational goals where individuals set additional goals in addition to whatever, and maybe development goals could be a part of those, where they probably get more skilled, more knowledgeable, which contributes more to their team goals than otherwise it would, which contributes more to the divisional and subsequently the organizational goals. So it could be looked at in both the ways.
makes sense. Makes sense. Makes sense. Do you have any story about yourself that how goals have impacted you in your life? Like one incident, or maybe many incidents, I would say, that you remember that if I would have not set that goal, I would have not been here today, or maybe some what you can say, exceptional information which you say that this goal gave me a lot of value in the in my organization, in my team. Can you share one of the stories?
Sure, sure. As I said earlier, we also agree. Like we have learned it a hard way, right? And but the thing that I'm sort of talking to you, you are interviewing me, is one real good example of this success story. Like I wanted to be a mind coach. I am a mind coach today, but I'll take some more examples, or I would rather sort of club my journey into things which were, I mean, which I learned, and like things were not as they are today. So there were two big revelations for me. One is I mentioned earlier, I realized that later. So basically, realizing what am I focusing on, right? Uh, I mean, while I was really progressing well, at the same time, I there was some thoughts in my mind which I kept thinking of what I don't want, right? Because it was not the desired state, and unconsciously the mind keeps sort of focusing on that, and those things increases or they didn't go away. And there was one revelation when I started working with started this journey in neuro linguistic programming and all. And then when I shifted my focus from what I don't want to purely what I want, the desired state, that was one big change which happened. And the second is understanding a little bit about how our mind works. So, as you may be aware, right, there are two parts of our mind: conscious and subconscious mind. Conscious is like I'm consciously talking about now, but there's subconscious, which is like behind the scenes, something is working, right? That's a subconscious. This conscious mind is just 10% of our total mind's capability or capacity, whatever you may call it. 90% is the subconscious mind. And as I say, thinker thinks and doer does. Thinker is our conscious mind and doer is the subconscious mind. So whatever you're feeding to your subconscious just knows to do it, right? It proves whatever you're thinking. It does whatever. So what we are thinking, whatever is our focus on, right? Whatever, wherever we are, wherever is our attention, whatever is the focus of our thoughts, that is what we are thinking. And subconscious understands that is the area of focus or that is the subject of focus. So it has to do it. It has to just prove that. And again, I'll come back to this point again. Why the desired state, thinking of the desired state and not thinking of what you don't want is important because the subconscious just understands what is our focus and it wants to do that. So all the energies subconsciously get focused on that and those thing increases. So these are two big revelations and then the shift of thinking happened. I mean, I had probably the same skills and same knowledge, or probably I was developing my knowledge also. However, this was the shift and I used this when I got this revelation. I used this in my last job and there was a big task for test automation which was again not done before by anyone. So probably thought very difficult, or maybe some people might have thought impossible, right? Now the challenge comes when you're setting a goal, when you ask whether it is possible or not. Okay, coming back to that achievable part, the answer could be a yes or a no. If the answer is yes, fine, you're saved. But if the answer is no, which means you are asking yourself whether it is possible, the answer is no, it's the end of the road because you think it's not possible. You're not
Right.
going to pursue it. It's not possible. So the what is the shift of thinking is how can I do it, not whether I can do it. Right. So I've stopped asking myself a question whether I can do it because I don't want to know for an answer. The question should be how I can do it, which implies that it is possible. I'm just probably exploring how I can do it. So there could be a number of possibilities to do it, right? And this was the thing which I also sort of coached a few team members on my team, few leads, and we were actually able to get some marvelous results. A lot of things were done for the first time. A lot of things which were seemingly thought impossible, we could do, and now because of that uh, we were now able to think much beyond what we thought because that was a limiting belief that we had. Something cannot be done is a limiting belief. We have converted that limiting belief to an empowering belief. So that was an experience. Again, it was a journey. I would not say it was like it just happens like that. It is a journey because you have to change the mindset. But once that triggers, the results that you start getting are phenomenal. I mean, there are no bounds, there are no limits, right? There are no boundaries after that. And then probably you can set and achieve a lot more difficult or seemingly impossible goals because now it is possible.
Right. I think
So that's one experience, I would say.
this is really profound. I've actually written it down. Don't ask yourself, can I do it? You have to say, how can I do it? Right. I think it's something very important for us to train our mind. Uh, like,
Yeah.
should not think about, can I do it, because that brings in negativity. You should think about, how can I do it, because that encourages yourself to do it positively. There's a question. Okay. So do you want to take a question, Saurabh? I think I can read out the
Yeah,
question.
sure.
So, what should be done if you
Sure.
are in a situation where the organization goals are not helping a lot with individuals' professional growth?
Okay. So my suggestion there would be talk to your boss. And I think it is very important to have that alignment. Um, uh, of course, you are working for the organization. The organization is paying you for that, and organization is paying to achieve the organization goals. organizational goals, so they are very important. However, at the same time, personal growth is also very important, and that alignment is important, because if that alignment is there, then your focus is clear. And again, all those, that alignment, mental alignment, we have talked a lot about it, right? How it should be focused to what you want, right? If your things are, if your mind is aligned to what you don't want, then the results may not be good. So my suggestion would be, talk to your manager and be very open in that, and probably try to explain that point. And I'm sure there will be some solution found, because normally when people accept job, they have some idea about it, but as you start working, you get more and more clear about where the organization is heading, where you are heading in that organization. And as you said, like this question says, like there could be some personal goals, and if it is not really aligned with the personal goals, probably there's a need to rethink about it. But you don't, I mean, the decision may not be like a drastic, like change the job or something, but it could be more of like a discussion with the manager, and have maybe there could be multiple goals. It is not necessarily to have, not necessarily to have a single goal, right? There has to be a main goal which is aligned with the organizational goals. There could be a secondary goal as a developmental goal, as you said, right? It could be like your personal goal, so which is a win-win situation.
Well, I think that is really a good answer. But I think I've actually experienced this in my career as well, that my professional goals are, you know, helping organization but might not help me, or maybe vice versa, right? Or if even if I go and talk to my supervisor, there are a lot of conflicts, or there are a lot of disagreements, and this situation also brings a lot of stress to yourself, that what should I do now,
Hmm.
because now I don't know. I have written my goals, those goals are not helping me professionally or not helping organization's goal. Will I be evaluated based on my performance because I'm not performing? So there are a lot of things, negativity starts building just because of this one particular goal is not aligned with your professional growth or organizational growth. So how should we handle this situation where we are stuck in this mental stress?
Yeah, sure. I think one point you brought very well was about the stress, right? In fact, that is the cause of a lot of disturbances in our life, or in fact, a lot of things which we are not able to achieve. Just imagine the same life you're living minus the stress. Okay, all situations same, and you're very peaceful. There is absolutely no stress. You will have so much clarity of mind. You will be able to achieve a lot more. In fact, in such a scenario, I would say hypothetical for now, but it is possible to achieve that scenario where you are relieved of all your stress and anxiety, and you're at peace with yourself. You are able to achieve a lot more, and then you get clarity of thought. A lot of times what happens is, there's so much clutter in your mind, there's so much confusion and chaos, that probably you're not even able to think what I need, like what I want, right? Even my personal goals, I'm not really clear about. Probably sometimes I think I want that, but you're not so sure, right? And then we start getting into this. Okay, I want this, but then this is not aligning with this, and that starts causing further stress. If this stress is taken away, probably you will be able to achieve both. And I think what I have followed in my life is, okay, if you're working for an organization, the organization goals are the top priority, because the organization is paying me for that. But at the
Right.
same time, I want to keep developing myself, and I am free to do my own development. I mean, no one is stopping me from doing that, right? No one is saying that if you are working on this goal, you should not work on some other goal. You definitely can continue if you are at peace with yourself. If you remove all this anxiety and stress in you, you get so much clarity, and probably you may be able to find some alignment there, or you may get opportunities. In fact, I would again come back to the point: keep thinking of the desired state that you wish to be in. Okay, why are you thinking of what you don't want? You, as in anyone who is stuck in this. Okay, if you don't, if someone does not want to do something, I don't want this, I don't want this, and what happens is that thought keeps there. It is sort of it is getting reinforced every time you say you don't want something, and your subconscious just knows to prove it or to do it, and it keeps doing that. you keep building stress, you keep building anxiety and all, and then sort of maybe that feeling of dissatisfaction or unhappiness. However, set a desired state for yourself. Of course, if you're in an organization, it should be a state which you are sort of setting where the organization is also benefiting. And once this shift in thinking happens, all the things start falling in place. And this is about experiencing this change. I mean, what I'm talking is what I've experienced, and I've also helped a lot of other people to sort of change this and experience this kind of thinking. But instead of worrying about this, I would say just pacify yourself. Maybe you can do some peacefulness exercises. There are a lot. In fact, I am into this practice, so we also help people with some peacefulness exercises. But any kind of meditation or yoga, anything that would give you make you peaceful. Once you are peaceful, you get clarity of thought, and once you have clarity of thought, it's a totally different world than what you are with that stress and anxiety and all. And you find your own way. I mean, that's been my experience. There is a power within which actually guides you to take the right decision.
Right, I think this is really profound that you yourself are your own solution. I would rather say that. So I think it starts with your mindset. If you train your mind to be peaceful, I think then you have a clarity of thoughts. And if you sit with your clear mind and thought, you know what you need to be as a desired state, right? I think then you start documenting what you want to be and how you can achieve. And I think that's the whole crux of how you set your goals, be it individual or be it organizational. I think this is where it comes all, boils down to your peaceful mind and clarity. I think this is really profound and sort of really
Yeah.
helpful for us to understand this. uh
W-
there's
One
one
more
thing.
point to add.
Huh?
One more point to add.
Sure.
Even if at times you feel there's some disconnect between organizational and your goals, I would, as I said, I would give priority to organizational goals. In my experience, what I have seen is once I am able to achieve organizational goals, maybe as a reward, I get something from the management or leadership where I'm able to do something of my choice because the organization understands my value, right?
Right.
I have been valuable for the organization, and which means the organization should take care of me. And a lot of times it happens that the organization actually gives you opportunities where you are able to also achieve your personal goals or flourish in your area of personal interest.
Right.
So just to add to that earlier discussion.
I agree. I think this is something very very important. I think we all understand that we should have goals. We document them as well, but somewhere down the line, like you start very aggressive in your start of your year, but then we lose track of how we should manage our goals. So, how important is your goal tracking, and how should you plan? How should you track your goals throughout your year so that you have enough evidence at the end of the year to prove that yes, whatever you've done, you've achieved your goal. So how what should be your tracking system?
Yeah. So again, it's a very important point that tracking is needed because otherwise you don't know where you are headed to, both in terms of direction as in terms of speed. Let's say you're traveling from Pune to Mumbai, right? You know the direction, and probably you have to reach in 2 hours, right? So it is like 160 kilometers, so you have to go at 80 kilometers per hour.
Right.
But one thing is, if you take a diversion and you are not heading towards Mumbai, you will end up somewhere. So you'll not really achieve your goal. Also, if you are traveling at 40 kilometers per hour, you will not achieve that in 2 hours. Maybe it will take 4 hours, right? So it's as simple as that. Once you're clear about what is that end state you want to achieve, the desired state, right? And how fast you have to achieve, then you yourself can sort of find for yourself whether you are heading in that direction. And it's a continuous monitoring, right? You have to do the course correction along the way. And are you going at a enough pace so that you are able to achieve that? In fact, no one else should be required to tell someone whether it is incorrect or not. You yourself know about it and you'll be able to course correct that. At times in organizational or a professional setting, you may have to adjust the goals of, again, talking to your managers, because there could be some challenges, unforeseen challenges that might come, something which are beyond your control that might come. But if we, for time being, just remove that part, uh, tracking for yourself is very important, but that can be done only if you are clear about the goal, right? So that ambiguity part has to be removed. And even if it's organizational goal, if you are not clear about what exactly is the organization expecting from you, it is time that you take that clarity from your management as to what exactly it means. So define the goal in such a way that it becomes clear to your mind. There's no ambiguity left. One thing which has helped me get clarity about is so basically, when you experience something, it doesn't remain ambiguous, right?
Right.
Um, like let's say I'm experiencing this interview, and there's no ambiguity. It's very clear. Now, how do you experience things? You experience things through your senses, like what you
Right.
see, what you hear, what you taste, what you smell, what you feel, right? Some of these senses are like very powerful. What you see, what you hear, what you feel, right? A very good way to get clarity about that desired state is visualization of that moment. So go into future. Let's say there is a goal I want to achieve. Let's say 100% days saving in an automation project by 31st December 2022. So what I'm doing in my visualization, I am actually going on 31st December. I'm seeing that date. Maybe I'm in a team meeting. It's 31st December 2022, and I'm presenting a report to my manager of the savings that I have done, that 100% is saving in that automation project, and I'm hearing from my manager that it's a successful project, and the manager is congratulating me and the team. So what I'm training my mind is, okay, this is the experience what I want. This is giving even more clarity. It is reinforcing the focus of my mind on what I want to achieve, what I want to see, and what I want to experience. Right? So this is a very good technique. A lot of successful people actually do visualization. I've been doing that, and it's giving great results because it improves the clarity of what you want to achieve within you. Automatically all the clutter, all the disturbances, all the noise start subsiding, and with that you start getting more and more peaceful. You start removing the stress and anxiety and reinforcing the focus on what you want to achieve. So I think this could be also one very important useful technique which can be used.
Right. I think so. If we talk about like step by step guide of how you should define goals, uh, achieve goals, and track goals. So what would be it's like for someone who is like a fresher in an corporate world, they don't know anything about goals because it's not been taught in a traditional education system, right? How should they
Yeah,
think about how should they write goals, what should their first step, how should they plan, how should they achieve, and how should they track? I think this was step by step
sure.
help information would be helpful.
Yeah. So, very first step for anyone and everyone, again, from my experiences, peacefulness of mind. Irrespective of anything else, you have to be peaceful so that you have that clarity of thought and that all that what you can say peacefulness means no anxiety, no stress, and you are able to sort of think better in that. But once that is achieved, I mean that's the foundation. But then think of the desired state. Be very clear and very specific of the desired state, which is the goal. So the goal is a definition of that desired state, whether it's personal, professional, whatever it is. Be very clear on that what you want to achieve, so that your second is aligning your mind to that, so that once you have defined a desired state, your mind should get aligned. Visualization actually helps you aligning your mind to the desired state very well, and it reinforces that, and it removes all the clutter, all the things that you don't want in that, right? So aligning your mind, and then you start working on it. When once your mind is aligned, your subconscious knows that it is to be done, right? And then it that remains the thought of your focus, and that thing increases for you, and this has been my experience as well. So you start progressing towards the goal, and that's when the tracking comes in place, where you now know where you want to, what you want to achieve, by when you want to achieve what, and you keep checking whether you are in the right direction and going at the right pace. If you're not, probably you may get some help from your seniors, or if there's a mentor, you may ask help from mentor. Maybe there could be issues where the individual is struggling with and not able to overcome. That's where a mentor would definitely help, or a senior would definitely help. But being aware of that is important. Once you are aware, you know you want to remove this roadblock from, so that your focus is again reinforced on what you want to achieve. And that's how you keep track and do course correction as and when required, and ultimately achieve the goal effectively.
Yeah, I think this is really good. I want to emphasize on this one topic of one thing which you mentioned, that if you have an opportunity to identify a mentor, I think this is one thing which you can start achieving or start identifying, that who can be your best person who can help you uh, throughout your journey of a career. Find out in your organization itself, your senior who have gone through these processes of self development, who have experienced a lot of failures and got up from those failures and achieved success so far. I think if you find someone who can mentor you, this is one thing you should start implementing. When you're stuck, you can reach out to the mentor. When you need help, you can ask them how should they guide you in terms of achieving your task, or tell you how you can implement things, not actually hands-on help, but a guidance sort of information, that because they've already experienced that, they know what works, what doesn't work, right? So I think this is very important, that if you have a mentor, if you have a coach, if you have a peer who can help you, I think this is one thing which you can definitely implement in terms of your career. If you are a fresher or if you're a mid-career professional, I think this is one thing which you definitely implement. Anything you want to add, sort of, apart from whatever we have discussed so far, which can be like a useful information for us? And you can also talk about what is your organization goals, and how do you help people in terms of performance goals. And I think if you can talk about that, that'll be really helpful.
Sure, sure. So I think just to summarize, I would say, if you think you can, then you are right. If you think you can't, then also you're right, because ultimately it's you who are thinking, and you're probably sort of deciding that for yourself. However, if you think you can't, then you must. Okay, because it's just a matter of that shifting of that I can't to I can, right? And I, along with, I have an organization called ThinkWiser, and my mentor, he is an organization called Mind Matter. So together we have launched a program called Anavaran, Uncovering Potentials. And we are actually helping people to uncover their true potential. We are using some very effective mind exercises. They've been tested and proven over time, and those mind exercises help you with this alignment, get over your limiting beliefs, install empowering beliefs, get a positive mindset, a solution oriented mindset, and do away with the stress and anxiety, and help you achieve whatever you desire much more effectively. And again, it is universal. It applies to each and everyone, and whether personal or professional, it's all because everyone has a mind and it works in the same way. So that's what we are into, and that's what our mission is, to help as many people as we can to have this journey from I can't to I can. That's what Anavaran is about.
That's really great. So I think, yeah, this was really helpful, sort of, for us to discuss about one of the most important topic of goals setting, right? I think there are a lot of information which we have collected today, and I'm gonna post this on a channel. I'm gonna share your information, your organization information, in the description of my YouTube video, which will be available. So anyone who wants to reach out to you guys, please go in the description, check out the website,
Sure.
which is very helpful for you to grow yourself, uncover your potential. And I think this was really helpful, sort of. Thanks for your time. Thanks for all the knowledge you've shared today. And I'm sure that this will be very helpful for people who will look into these videos in future, and start implementing whatever we have discussed today. So thanks a lot for your time, and I think I will definitely have another
Thanks,
discussion with
Ajinkya.
you later on as well.
Sure.
So thank you for coming today.
Thanks for this opportunity. I loved this opportunity, and more so because whatever wisdom I have gained, I can share it with more people and more people can benefit from that. So thanks for this opportunity, and thanks all of you who have joined, and for a patient hearing and all the questions that you have. Feel free to reach out to me if you have any further questions or would like to discuss anything. I'll be more than happy to help you.
So thanks a lot,
Thank
Saurabh.
you.
Thank you, team. Thank you. Thank you, everyone joining. Thank you. Bye bye.